So this is what the shower mixing valve looks behind the wall for this particular valve, and on the side of the valve there are these two little taps. These are used by the installing plumber or the maintenance plumber basically to shut off the hot and cold water supply. Regularly employ some quality control here, because if Jamila happened to leave out a critical part, say that O-ring or say the little acetal disc in the assembly, the finished part wouldn't be quite as tall. So what she does is every 100 parts she puts it into this little height gauge. The rose, I guess, is the part of the shower that people see in front of the wall and interact with every day. It's usually that little bit that you wiggle to the left or the right of the shower as you get in. This has come out of an injection moulding machine, as has this. We've fitted an O-ring to this part. On this machine over here, we've cut an O-ring groove in the back of the rose to seat the O-ring. Very important, because when the arm drops into the O-ring, you've got to have something to seal the gap back there. This thing is full of water under a little bit of pressure.
If I do the 800 a day, I assembly. Yeah, it's easy for me.
We've sold a little over 1.6 million. We estimate the current install base is around 500,000. People probably don't realise there are 13 different operations that go into machining and assembling this part. How this thing knows exactly to stop at the right time is these parts are indexed with these shapes relative to the hot and the cold water ports, and it fits onto that little spigot that sticks up, and this keys in off this little mark in the back and creates a really strong weld. It's not magic. That's the D3 shower head. So that's a different rose that goes onto the same mixer that we showed you earlier. We 100% leak test anything that fits into someone's wall. All our shower valves, bath fillers, wall-mounted basin, bath mixers. This particular product we still do it the old-fashioned way, and the principle is exactly the same as when you were looking for a leak on a push bike tyre. You're basically taking a bit of water, pumping a bit of air into the tube, and looking for some air bubbles. There are 10 Auckland businesses that make stuff for this valve and the wall set, front of wall. Last part of the process for chrome product is marking, and the Felton mix brand is applied here with a laser engraver. Felton started in 1968 and it was started by a guy called Max Davies. One of the interesting stories was in the early days, Max said to his team, look, what are we going to call this thing? And about a month had gone by and they were about to launch the product into the market, and nobody could come up with a name. So he said, well, if nobody can come up with a name shortly, we're just going to name ourselves after the street. It came to be called Felton, and it's called the Felton Mix. We were basically named after the street. Behind the wall, the quality of the product is all identical, and it means we can do this operation in New Zealand and sell decent quantities of the base product. We've got the feasibility of local manufacture.
Drop some fresh castings on that?
Absolutely everything we do that fits into somebody's wall gets tested. So 100% leak testing. We use air into the product dry. We hold that pressure for a few seconds and look for a pressure drop. And if there's a pressure drop, must be a leak somewhere. There would be very few Kiwi plumbers that haven't installed or worked on a Felton at some stage in their career.